What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are, we're back in the garage. Unfortunately, the C8's not in the garage. The C8 is in a garage, and I'm here to tell you why. So guys, here we are. We're back. The C8 is actually at Palmyra, back at Click Lewis at the dealership as we speak, and is being torn apart as we speak after couple of days of some severe kind of checking things out and some good diagnosis. So the question is, how did we get to this point and why is the car back there? So with that being said, last Wednesday I was driving the car to work. I stopped off at the grocery store, came out, did a quick remote start while walking across the parking lot, and I heard a very, very rough noise. It almost sounded like a power steering pump going out, but so I immediately turned the car off, grabbed my phone, and I'm like, you know what? I need to record this and see what's going on. So I hopped back in the car, I hit the start button, held the phone up, and recorded this.
Hey Mike, listen to this, something's not right.
So the question is, why did I say hey Mike? So I said hey Mike because Mike from Click Lewis is, of course, one of the best dealership salesmen in the entire world. So it's 7:30 in the morning, I called Mike, I'm like, hey man, I was like, I need your help. I sent you a video, check it out, and get back to me as soon as you can. So he's like, Jake, let me watch the video, I'll call you right back, don't do anything. I'm like, no problem. So, as you guys know, the C8 Corvette has seen about 4 different major recalls that are documented, one for the brakes, one for an electrical issue, and of course, the ever, front trunk coming up at 37 miles an hour. So, my car, it was none of those issues. So, Mike's like, hey, pop the hatch, make sure there's nothing going on. So I pop the hatch, look, there's no fluid, there's no nothing going on, everything looks pretty normal. So I close the hatch, hop back in the car, I turn it back on, and I see this. So, this little thing comes up, says your transmission's overheating, stop safely, turn the car off. I'm like, ooh, okay. I was like, well, we're here, so I went and tried to put it into gear, wouldn't go into gear, nothing. So I figured, you know what, at this point, I'm just gonna turn the car off, pop the hatch, let it cool off. And this whole time, Mike's talking me through it, also kind of just to help me out, like, hey Jake, calm down, your car isn't broken, it's under warranty, we'll figure this out. So, I'm like, cool, great. So the car cools down, and I'm like, I'm gonna let it sit here for a second. I let the thing totally turn off, kind of let the computer reset, and maybe it'll give us a chance to rethink about what's going on. At this point, it's 37 degrees, so I know the car didn't really overheat, and the oil was only at about 150 some degrees as far as the operating temperature. So, close the hatch, start the car back up, no warning lights, the check engine light is on, of course, and it's staying on, it's not blinking intermittently or anything. So, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna put it in gear. So I put it in gear, makes no noise, no nothing, car sounds great. I drive it 2 miles to work and I turn it off. I'm like, Mike, the check engine light? He's like, yeah, let's bring it in, we'll look at it just to be safe. I'm like, awesome. So, brings me to my next point. Called up Dingman's Towing. So these guys showed up. This guy John shows up. John is super cool, and John's like, hey man, this thing's neat. He's like, I'll make sure I take care of it. So John used soft straps on everything. He went around the control arms. He actually explained to me what he was doing, so I felt more comfortable with the loading and unloading of the car. The one thing that was interesting, when we first loaded Justin's C8, when we broke that, I had to be inside the car to keep making sure that the parking brake didn't come on. This time with the 2022 model, that didn't happen at all. The car loaded up very easily and no big deal. So I don't know what that was, a change in the software or what, but just an interesting fact about loading the C8 onto the back of the flatbed. So with that being said, John had this thing loaded up. He videotaped the entire car before it went on. He videotaped it and sent pictures when it arrived at the dealership, all different angles, which I'm sure is for his well-being, and his insurance purposes as well as mine. But it was nice to see the car made it safely up there and had no issues. So, the car's at the dealership. The guys at Click Lewis, guys and gal, are amazing. So Shanna, JR, Nick, Justin, these guys are awesome people. So they take the car out and they run it around. They say, Jake, we can't replicate it. I'm like, well, let's keep trying. So, they put 20 miles in the car, no noise, nothing came up. And at this point, I pull up my OnStar app just to kind of see what's going on. And everything cleared up on that now too. So previously it had this transmission note. That's now gone, and the car shows that there's no issues. I'm like, oh man, that's interesting. I'm like, but have you seen the video? And he's like, what video? I'm like, well, let me send you a video. So I said, grab me a cell phone, give me somebody's number. So they got somebody's number. I sent him the video, and he's like, Oh, okay, that's different. I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about what it really did. I just want to know what it was and what that noise was. So at this point, they reach out to GM techs, and now the GM techs are involved, and they're like, hey, we're gonna get this fixed. I'm like, great, I just appreciate the support. I'm really excited to know what's going on, just not for myself, but for other C8 owners as well, because apparently this is kind of a new thing. So with that being said, as of today, they're overnighting some parts in, some stuff they're gonna try out on Monday. But here's the noise again. I want you guys just to listen to it, and just really tell me what you think. So here it is.
Hey Mike, listen to this. Something's not right.
What are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think that noise is? What would you do if you were in my position? As far as warranty goes, it's under warranty, so I'd rather see it get fixed and move on. The Tremec, there has been some issues with possible debris being lodged in the filter system, but really, I don't know if that's what it was or if it wasn't. So at this point, the car has never shifted. There's been no issues with shifting. It's been a great car. It has not seen one single true launch yet, even though it's past the 500-mile mark. But really, just let me guys know what you think about the car, what your thoughts are, please, in the comments below. I would love to hear everyone's opinion on what that noise was and what you would do if it was your car. So that's it for today. I'll know more tomorrow. I promise to keep the content coming, but thanks for watching and stay tuned for more. Later, everyone.